Hello my friends and welcome back. It's another day of Vlogmas and today I'm going to make some shortbread. But I always cut it into little shapes to just make it a lot more fun. Anyway, it's one of my Christmas traditions and it wouldn't be Christmas without them.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
Even the kitchen is now getting its little tree. This little tree I take out doesn't always sit here. It's just sitting here for tonight. But it's a lovely little tree. And it's just a little lit one. Just sits in a flower pot. It's a very happy little tree. I suppose I could zhuzh it a bit more. It's been a bit squashed for the last few months, hasn't it? So, well, a year really. But yes, so that's there. And over here I have my things set out. In here, ready to go, I've got 225 grams of butter. Now to that I'm going to add 125 grams of caster sugar. Just sitting here. So this is by far the easiest way of measuring everything. Don't know if you can see. Is it going to focus for you? Now that I put straight in the mixer and I cream it until it is almost white by the time I'm finished. Now you can see it's incredibly pale at this point, and I'm just going to scrape it down to make sure that everything is incorporated. Now the butter was room temperature, and believe me, today it did not take any time at all to come to room temperature. It's very, very warm and humid, and thunderstorms again, second day in a row. So be it. It's cooling off now though, which is why I'm going to do this. I can bear to have the oven on. So there we are, 350 grams of flour, plain flour, and on top of that 75 grams of corn flour. I'm going to fluff that up a little as well. Reset. Come on, back to zero. Thank you. All done. Now that goes back in the mixer. Now at this point, can I just state the obvious and say to turn the speed on very slowly, because otherwise that flour is going to go everywhere. So you do it very slowly. And once it's sort of incorporated a little, then you can put the speed up a bit, but not a lot. You don't want to beat this, it's got to be light. You just want to incorporate it. And that, I think, is enough. I can do the rest by hand. Now before I roll it out, I've just set the oven to 140 fan. And it's Celsius, and so if it was not a fan oven it would be 150 Celsius. So it's a drying out process with shortbread, more than sort of any sort of temperature to really cook it. It's just to make it golden and pale. I am not my niece. My niece makes the best shortbread ever. She can make it, I mean, I swear if she was in a tent in the forest, she would still make the best shortbread, no matter what she has on, you know, on hand. She just has the touch. But mine's okay, but just not as good as Joe's. Now you can see I've just pressed this together. Remember, clean hands are a cook's best friend, and mine are washed and cleaned, obviously. I've just put it out onto some baking paper just because it's easy to handle, and now we get the fun of choosing the shapes. Now, this is the tin of all these goodies. Now we have a star because, you know, we need a star. A rolling pin out of the way. Coming in a minute. We have to have a star, of course. It's traditional for us to have sheep. We're talking stable, remember. reindeer maybe. I'm not sure if there are any reindeer in the stable, but honestly, I'm not the sort to make judgments about animals in stables. This one, I think, is that a snail or is it a whale? Either or, I probably don't think there were any in the stable. Definitely angels. Let's have an angel, shall we? What else have we got? A rabbit. Frankly, rabbits are everywhere. I'm sure there was a rabbit. A cat. Look, every stable, every manger, anywhere I've ever been in my life with animals, there has always been a cat. Horses love cats, and cats love the warmth of other animals. And so I'm sure that there was a cat. Is there a squirrel? Maybe not a squirrel. Perhaps not a squirrel. Oh, and a little tree. Now, one of the things about this is you have to sort of realise that cats are very difficult to get out in that shape. Now, the cat can go up there for later. Angels are fine, trees are fine. The sheep are a bit difficult because of their legs. Reindeer, not sure. Maybe reindeer can go back and we'll just stick to the traditional things. Stars, cats, sheep, angels, Christmas trees, and maybe a rabbit or 3. And over here we have the little creatures that climb to the top of the cake, and some little trees. Nice story to go with them. I'll tell you about that when I'm using them. They can wait. Right now I need to roll this out and start cutting and putting on trays and popping it in the oven. Now, rolling it out to a thickness of about half an inch, 18mm, whatever that is. And but once again, you'll note I've been really gentle with this. I've patted it together. I haven't been rough with the shortbread. And it's a treat. May we also just accept that this is a Christmas time treat, part of the celebrating a little bit of Christmas. I don't roll it out a lot. I like it to be reasonably thick, but to be fair, it is a short by definition, unleavened, doesn't have any raising in it, and so given that it is a shortbread, you put the depth that you roll it to is the depth of the cookie that you're going to get the other end. Now let's see, important ones first. The angels. And a star. Let's see if how thick is it? Oops. See, that's quite thick. It's a nice thickness for shortbread. Some people like it less so, but it's very easy to burn it if you make it any thinner than that. So I've just got a cold oven tray and sheet, and then I'll just put the little angels on there. And the idea at this point is to work fairly quickly. At this point I don't want anything to melt. They're lining up nicely. What have we got? We've got a treat, we haven't got a cat. Every manger, every stable needs a cat. And you can see the last few scraps I've got here, I've just made into a little tiny version of a traditional shortbread. I've just rolled it out into a circle, and now I've scored it into eighths, and I've just pricked it, and I've just done the little pinch around here, around the edges, to make it look slightly traditional. So this is the tray, complete with a few decapitations along the way. Let's put them in the oven and then just let them go golden. Not even golden, pale. The cats are Manx cats. They really, their tails just break off in the process of getting them onto the tray. I used to cut them on the tray. I seem to forget this every year. But look, half the fun of doing them is remembering how to do it each year and then getting the second batch a lot better. Oh, I think they might be just about perfect. Let me get them out. Do you see that there's a slight tinge around them? Just slightly, not not completely pale. Like that one's got an on his feet, the sheep. Angel really did have a bit of a wonky wing, that one. This one is perfect. I'm just going to leave them for a minute and then I'll put them on to a cooling rack and let them cool for the next hour or so they're completely cold before I put them away. There it is, my first little bit of Christmas baking underway. There's a nice little star tin waiting for things and a nice flat one here ready to go. It's quite good to put them into shallow ones so that you're not stacking them, because that way they can break. You know, which one am I tempted to eat? Poor little angel with the crooked wing, or the little cat with the wonky tail? Actually, that one's got a wonky foot as well. I think it'll be the angel. The light's not very good, but let's see if the shortbread is. It's okay. It's really yummy, actually. Now to let it cool completely, put it away, hide it, forget about it, because otherwise I'll eat it all. Anyway, that's my little bit for the day. I hope you enjoyed starting some baking with me, and that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're having a lovely day in this run up to Christmas. I will see you soon. Bye.